How Jamestown Changed America Forever, the Dream of a New World. More than 4 centuries ago, the world was changing. Europe was exploring faraway lands looking for wealth, power, and glory. Spain had already claimed large parts of the Americas, and England didn't want to be left behind. For the English, the idea of a new world promised endless opportunities: gold, silver, new trade routes, and fertile land. In 1606, King James I of England granted a charter to the Virginia Company, a group of investors who believed they could make money by creating a settlement across the ocean. They were willing to risk everything, lives, money, and reputation, for the hope of success. This ambitious project led to the birth of Jamestown in Virginia, the first permanent English settlement in North America. This settlement wasn't just about survival, it laid the foundation for the future United States. The journey across the Atlantic. The Virginia Company organized 3 ships: the Susan Constant, the Godspeed, and the Discovery. On December 20th, 1606, about 144 men and boys left England on this dangerous voyage. Imagine their mindset. They were leaving everything they knew, with no guarantee they'd even make it alive. The trip was treacherous. They faced storms in the Atlantic, cramped quarters, seasickness, and constant fear of running out of food. Fresh water was scarce, and diseases spread easily on the ships. After nearly 5 months at sea, in May 1607, the weary travelers finally reached the coast of Virginia. Relief mixed with fear. This land was unknown, untamed, and full of challenges. Founding Jamestown. The settlers sailed up the James River, named after their king, and chose a site for their colony. They named it Jamestown. At first, it seemed like a good choice, easy to defend, surrounded by water. But soon they realized the land was swampy, the water undrinkable, and mosquitoes carried deadly diseases like malaria. The settlers built wooden forts and simple houses, but survival was already proving to be harder than they had imagined. The struggle to survive, the starving time. The settlers had expected to find gold, but there was none. Instead of planting crops and securing food, many focused on searching for treasure. As a result, food supplies ran dangerously low. The winter of 1609 to 1610 became known as the Starving Time. Out of about 500 colonists, only 60 survived that winter. They were forced to eat rats, snakes, and even shoe leather to stay alive. Some accounts even suggest cannibalism occurred out of sheer desperation. Jamestown was on the brink of collapse. The leadership of Captain John Smith. One man who held the colony together during its early years was Captain John Smith. He was strict but practical. His famous rule was, "He that will not work shall not eat." Under his leadership, colonists began planting crops, building stronger shelters, and organizing the community. Smith also made efforts to connect with the local Native Americans, the Powhatan Confederacy. Through trade and negotiations, the settlers received much-needed corn and supplies, though relations were never entirely peaceful. Powhatan and Pocahontas. The Powhatan Confederacy was a powerful network of tribes led by Chief Powhatan. At the heart of Jamestown's legend is Pocahontas, Powhatan's daughter. According to John Smith's later writings, Pocahontas saved his life when her tribe captured him. While historians debate the accuracy of this story, it's clear that Pocahontas played an important role in the colony's survival. She brought food, acted as a messenger, and at times helped ease tensions between the settlers and the Powhatans. Later, Pocahontas married John Rolfe, a Jamestown settler, which created a temporary peace between the two groups. John Rolfe and the Tobacco Revolution. John Rolfe transformed Jamestown's future. He began experimenting with tobacco, using seeds from the Caribbean. His crop thrived in Virginia's soil. Soon, tobacco became a profitable export, nicknamed Virginia's Gold. By shipping tobacco to England, Jamestown finally found economic success. Tobacco fields spread quickly, and more settlers arrived, drawn by the promise of wealth. However, this success came with consequences. Tobacco farming required vast land and labor, setting the stage for conflict with Native Americans and the arrival of slavery. The arrival of the first Africans. In 1619, a ship brought about 20 Africans to Jamestown. They were traded as laborers, marking the beginning of slavery in English America. Over time, slavery would grow into a brutal system that shaped the history of the United States for centuries. This moment in Jamestown was the start of one of the darkest chapters in American history, the birth of democracy in America. That same year, 1619, Jamestown saw another historic moment. The first General Assembly met in the colony's church. This was the beginning of representative government in America. Colonists elected representatives, known as burgesses, to make decisions on laws and taxes. This idea of self-government was groundbreaking. Though limited at first, it laid the foundation for American democracy and the future U.S. Congress. Conflicts and wars with the Powhatans. Despite occasional peace, relations with Native Americans often turned violent. The settlers wanted more land for tobacco farming, leading to clashes with the Powhatans. In 1622, the Powhatan Confederacy launched a major attack, killing hundreds of colonists. The settlers retaliated, and a cycle of violence continued for years. These wars devastated both sides and showed how difficult coexistence was in the New World. Decline of Jamestown. By the late 1600s, Jamestown was struggling. Fires, disease, and ongoing conflicts weakened the settlement. In 1699, the capital of Virginia was moved to Williamsburg. Jamestown was gradually abandoned, leaving behind ruins and memories of both triumph and tragedy. Jamestown today, a window into the past. Today, Jamestown is an archaeological site and a symbol of America's earliest beginnings. Visitors can see the remains of the fort, artifacts, and reconstructions of the original colony. Museums and guides share the dramatic stories of survival, hardship, and hope. Jamestown reminds us that the United States was born out of struggle. It was shaped by the dreams of explorers, the resilience of settlers, the culture of Native Americans, and the painful legacy of slavery. It's not just a story about one colony. It's the first chapter in the history of America itself. If you love exploring America's hidden history, hit subscribe and turn on the bell. More stories from the past are coming.